Hey everyone, it's 5. Come on in, come on in. Hello, thank you for coming on. Hey. Hello, hello. Hey. I'm gonna give it one more minute. Y'all know I always want to start at 5:03. Give people an opportunity to come in and have a seat. Hey. Right. So I guess I'm gonna get started. It's not quite 5:03, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So hey everybody, it's me, Monique. You guys already know who I am, but I always say that every week. I think I do. But at any rate, I'm so happy that you guys are joining me. We're gonna talk about who gonna check me, boo. Now that was a scene said by one of the housewife shows. It's not applicable to this subject, but I did get it from her, Sheree. So I always want to give people credit where credit is due. So that's where I got the topic from. Well, the saying, but not necessarily the topic because I don't watch the housewives. That's another subject. But at any rate, I wanted to discuss how we can miss out on what God has for us when we are so concerned about not wanting somebody to tell us something. We live in such a culture where who gonna judge me? Only God can judge me, and we're so quick to tell people that we don't tell me anything. You can't tell me. We're just too self-absorbed to take heed and take warning. No different than the people in the scriptures, right? So the first thing I thought about was the children of Israel. And they actually in 1 Samuel 8:18, it says, when the day came, you will cry out for relief from a king, you have chosen, but the Lord will not hear you on that day. So give you some background. So God tried to tell the children of Israel, so it says, when the children of Israel demanded a king, God granted their request, but warned them that the king would bring them suffering. Samuel, an older man who was an Israelite, relayed on the message from God, telling the people what God has said. The king will take their sons, their daughters, their servants, their produce, and will require a tenth of their goods. The king will also force the people into military service, labor, and making them slaves. Samuel warned the people that the king would be a tyrant who would set himself to be equal as God. However, the children of Israel wanted the king, and so God granted them King Saul. And so sometimes we can be told this isn't good for you, but it's not until you get it that you understand this thing isn't good for you. And an example I guess I think about is, as a parent, we can tell our children hot, the stove is hot. But when you're a toddler, hot doesn't mean anything. You know that your mom or your dad or your whoever is screaming hot. So you're alerted by their tone, but you have no idea what hot is. But once you touch it, now you can connect what hot is, and you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to have anything to do with that because hot brings pain. But you were warned not to do it. And so, but sometimes you can't, you gotta let, the attitude is, who gonna check me? And so it also made me think about, now I'm going to jack some of these folks' names up. I'm going to tell y'all now. I'm going to jack their names up. But in Jeremiah 43:2, Azariah, son of H, and Joniah, son of K, know these folks' names, and all the arrogant men said to Jeremiah, you are lying. The Lord our God has not sent you to say this. You must not go to Egypt and settle there. So Jeremiah was trying to warn the people that God had said not to go to Egypt, that they were going to have some hardships. It wasn't going, their wives were like worshiping the female god in heaven, so it was an idol. And he was telling them, listen, you gotta listen to God. You gotta turn away from what you're doing. You're serving foreign gods. Your ancestors, your forefathers never did these type of things, but they were just determined to do their own thing. And in doing their own thing, they end up having to deal with the ruins that came with being disobedient. And the reality is, we're no different. We, they can tell us to, do whatever, and we gonna just do what we want to do. It's just the way we're sometimes wrapped. And so Hebrews 12:20-25 says, be careful that you do not refuse to listen to the one who is saying, for if the people of Israel did not escape when they refused to listen to Moses, the earthly messenger, we will certainly not escape if we reject the one who's speaking to us from heaven. So the reality is, a lot of us struggle with being on the wrong side of right. We don't want anybody to correct us. We don't want anybody to say anything to us. And then we wonder why we're in the predicaments that we're in. But you don't want anybody to tell you anything. You don't want anybody, if they say something, then they judging you. So you're left to your own devices. And so I can recall a conversation that I was having with a friend, and we were talking, and they said, I know what I said on that Zoom call wasn't right. And I was like, no, it wasn't. And they said, but I don't like to be wrong. I said, but you argued your point and you knew you were wrong. And they said, but I don't like to be wrong. And to me, that's a dangerous person, because a person that's going to stand 10 toes down and know that you're not right and you giving off bad information, that's dangerous. That it's like, that's, I mean, you just really out here on your own and trying to finagle life. Just, I'm gonna do me and doing you, and not humbling yourself and being able to say, you know what, I don't have all the answers. Maybe somebody can help me out with this. It's just it's a very scary place to be. And we use this scripture all the time, Matthew 7:6, where it says, do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before pigs, lest they trample them underfoot and turn and attack you. And that's what happens sometimes when you try to tell somebody something. They'll get so angry with you. They'll get so angry with you that they won't even, now you're attacked, and all you was trying to do was tell them that you got, your shoe is on your right foot, but it's the left shoe. So they like, don't tell me anything. And we must have a village of people who are able to correct us. I have my village. I used to think that I needed a lot of people around me, but as I'm getting older, that my circle is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And not because we're falling out. It's just that as life evolves, you just we're in some places, we're in different places. I'm still raising a child. Some of my friends' children are grown. And so it's just, we may be in different places, but my circle is becoming smaller. And especially as I have connected more with God, my circle has truly become smaller. Yes. Quality over quantity. Absolutely. Because I would rather have one good friend that's going to stab me in the front versus stab me in the back. My girlfriend says that to me. She was like, I'm going to love you where I'm going to stab you in the front. I'm not going to stab you in the back. So come to me and tell me, hey, what you doing is wrong. What you saying is wrong. How you operating is wrong. But you came to me. You didn't say it to 15 other people behind my back. You came to me and stabbed me in the front. Now, I can heal from the stab in the front because I know that it came to me in love. But when you stabbed me in the back, I wasn't even prepared for it. But I see you coming at me when you hit me in the front with love. So, and then we have to also, as parents, be cognitive of this as well. Some of us as parents, we are so puffed up that our children can't tell us anything. I was talking to a young lady today, and her insight about her parents was so deep. I was like, dang, have you ever shared that with them? And she was like, oh no, I've never. But sometimes we need to just talk to our children because they have a version of the story as well. And just being able to hear what their version of the story is, and so that we can sit down and have a conversation. I remember when I was getting my house built, Nadia and I, we stayed with the lady downstairs from us for 3 weeks. And I remember having a conversation with her. I was like, Nadia, do you think we're homeless? Do you think? And she was like, no, we're just waiting on our house. But I wanted to have that conversation with her because I don't want her 20 years from now to be, me and my mama was homeless. Me and my mama, no, we're not homeless. So I wanted to make sure that her version of our story was what it really was, because you can have a whole different perspective of the very same story. And when I was living in that condo, there was an older lady that stayed across the street from me. And this was during COVID. I moved down here. We didn't actually have COVID yet. I mean, we had it, but we didn't know what it was. The world hadn't gone into shutdown. I moved here in February, and, the world went into shutdown in March. And I would always wonder why her children never would come to see her. Her son would only come to get the trash. Never would come and see her. And I would go over there from time to time, and she was kind of homebound, but a lot of it had to do was because it was COVID, and everybody was scared. We didn't know what was going on. You didn't know, you opening mail with mask on, we just gloves on. You just didn't know. We bleaching down the milk. We were scared. And I remember just sitting outside one day, and I heard her talking to her son, and I was like, yikes. And it was just the thing she was saying. And I was like, I just answered the question why her children don't come visit her, and she would always fuss. She was like, my kids are so ungrateful. They don't come and see me. And it was because of how harsh she was. I remember being back home, and I heard someone talking to their husband, and my skin crawled at the tone in which was used. And granted, I don't know how they get down. That's not my business. But I heard the tone, and I was just thinking to myself, like, dang, this is horrible. And if you're doing this in front of me, what you doing in private? Like, but you can't say anything to the person because it's like, who gonna check me, boo? You ain't even got a husband. So how you gonna say something to me about how I'm talking to my husband? So, that's kind of it. This gonna be a quick one. This has been a rough week. I can be honest and tell y'all this has been a rough week for me. Y'all keep y'all girl in prayer. I need it. But I was determined to come and do this. So I hope that this has blessed you guys in some way, shape, or form. Don't be, and I'm in the South, so I have to say it like they say it down here. Humble yourself. Y'all know that word is humble. But that you be able to receive correction. It's such a mandatory thing to do. And get you a crew of people who love you enough that's going to tell you when you're wrong. That's going to tell you when that's not adding up. 2 + 5 is not adding up to 7. It's something missing. And know that God speaks to you through people, and be okay with getting that checking, because it's okay. Iron sharpens iron. And then when you think about when iron rubs together, when it hits, it sparks. So when you spark, it's a spark. They hit, it's a spark. And it should be like that when you have people who truly love you, who truly are warring with you, that they will give you what you need. Ask God to send you that. I'm always asking God, but I love y'all. Just keep me in prayer. Coming live is not always easy, because when you take a stand and say you're going to do something for Christ, Satan is always lurking, and he attacks with the very things that is the closest to you. So just keep the faith. God is faithful for sure. And we got this. This really is going to be a beautiful thing on the other side. But if you can't accept correction, because it says God chastised those he loves. So if you can't take correction, what you going to do? And if you never get any godly correction, I'm scared of you too. So, all right. I love all of y'all. I will talk to you later. Bye.